funny when I do this, the mind seems to become more active versus when I was doing this without, publishing it. It's an interesting pattern that I've noticed, and it becomes more and more. So it increases. Thinking before I start, thinking after I started. Too much thoughts. It's maybe part of it in the beginning, but I do not like that. There's a part of me that doubts the whole thing itself, or the publishing part, because it basically, I think that is still a belief and not proven to be true. But the belief is that when publishing, when knowing that I will publish it, I won't be talking about, I would say, very sensitive topics, and that those can be the actual things I do want to talk about. So then, if that is true, then I was thinking about doing this twice a day, or only on the days when I do not want to talk about sensitive things, or they are not top of mind. But then at the same time, aren't they always there? And that by not bringing them up, I would be sacrificing all of them. I guess there is a sense of loss, the feeling that I lose out on doing these walk and talk moments like I did them before, and that this sense of loss doesn't need to be there, or that the sacrifice is not worth the benefits, at least not as of yet. So let's think about that, about is it really a sacrifice? Am I at this moment shying away from the more important topics or the more important questions in my life? Well, what is important? And do I really have to? Do I really have to avoid such topics? For as if I can easily, it doesn't take much time to just really take them out or bleep certain words. So let's approach it differently. Let's do that right now and see where that goes. I guess it's all about experimenting. So then why do I feel this sense of struggle with one of my employees? Well, there could be in it the control that I have the decision power, and that because I'm in control and things don't really improve or change, that will continue to happen unless I decide. But I would say that the negative feeling that caused before was greater than it is right now. And I would say it is still there, that's the honest truth, but then it is very minimal, and I'm not sure if it is worth exploring, because I do think there's a greater search going on. Whereas today, it was not procrastination. It was really a deep, bothering, almost hurting feeling that I was not able to figure out as of yet of what really gives me great meaning in life. And the answer might be that there is just not, and that the question really is, like, what do you really want to be doing? What is there? And I guess the answers that I've come up with so far hasn't been satisfactory thus far, so I guess that's why the question hasn't disappeared. Maybe it is the acceptance that the question will always be there. Maybe it is the truth that question will never disappear, for it is a question that can't be answered, and that the very asking of it will lead to doing things that you threw from where you want to find the answer, but that the answer will never come, and so you will always be doing things out of that desire to solve it, like a puzzle. But the missing piece is not there. It doesn't exist. So then you will be finding or trying to find the missing piece everywhere in everything you do and everywhere you go, in everything you talk about, in everything you dream about. It will never be found. And maybe that is the whole point. That maybe that is the missing piece. Or maybe that is just a great play of life. Playing a game that can't be solved. Maybe that is it. And that the only thing that can give some satisfaction is just to keep playing. Not in order to find the missing piece, but rather to play the game of solving the puzzle. Not to solve it, but to play. For after all, that's the only thing there to do. I guess the mind just doesn't want to accept that. I think I see it through the mind there. I think the mind just doesn't want to accept that. It just can't accept that the missing piece isn't there, that it doesn't exist. So why do kids not have this question? For as I don't remember I ever had that question when I was young. I wasn't questioning a lot of things actually. And maybe I was, but then I guess it was different. There was maybe pain, but in a very different way. Almost in a playful, pretended way. And not actual suffering. So maybe what is the reason why kids don't have that? Now I ask that I think because of the reason that I think I could recreate such a scenario. Maybe that isn't true. But I think I want to find something that I could have again or create again, if that is possible. I guess an interesting question would be like, well, I'm looking for something that I had when I was young. But what about asking the question of what I didn't have? And maybe I didn't have a lot of conditioning, and maybe I didn't have the belief that thinking is a good thing, because I very much realize I have been conditioned, and that I, in fact, as of right now, have the belief. I really still have that belief that all this thinking, everything that I even do right now, is good. That smart is good, and that thinking is good, and possibly that I didn't do all of that when I was a kid. For as it really seems that all this thinking and everything that the mind does, also subconscious thinking, is just very much at the source of all of this pain. Whereas if I was still a child of, let's say, 4 or 5 years old, then would I really be, like, let's say I was 5 years old and I was at the hospital right now, or I was like dying here on the grass as a 5-year-old, then would I be asking myself, did I waste my life? I probably wouldn't, for as I don't even know what life really means. For as there's not really a meaning, it's just all that we give to it. Would I then be really talking about not finding this last piece of life, or trying to answer this question? All these questions that I've been conditioned to try to understand, or maybe not to, but that the questions all arose from this information, all this information that I got, that I thought was good for me, and the information I should ignore. Because if I was really 5-year-old and I was dying right now on this grass, then would I be upset or dissatisfied with not having, like 5 years old, I wouldn't have the belief that I had to make something out of life, that I had to win trophies, that I had to get money, that I had to buy a house. I really didn't have those back then, I guess. So why is it even worth asking? Because I do think that back then there was a little memory, and I think the memory, all the information and all these memories has caused pain and suffering more than they did good. I'm not sure if that's true, but I do think there's a lot of truth in that. And the truth is that it is there. All that information and all those memories are there. Doesn't mean you have to do something with it. I guess when I was young, then just playing. I was just playing with stuff, playing all the time. And when I was not, I was probably resting. Definitely lots of playing. lots of stuff, trying to figure things out, even with electronics, technology. So I guess when I was a young kid, it was all about playing, figuring things out, playing. Maybe not even the figuring things out, only if that felt like play, then only then I did it. For otherwise it didn't interest me. So I guess if there's one thing to be learned from this period, it would be that children do things because that I did things because they felt like play, or they didn't feel as bad, or effort, or work. So I guess that is a big thing, and therefore, because they were done as play, I felt playful and was very focused and attentive in the moment, and that is all there is. For as why do the opposite if that isn't needed? I mean, why work if you can play? If you can, which you can. And I guess that's why I go to the gym right now, because it feels like play. Let's keep it that way. Talk soon.